of spending money to maintain the existing one.
And if you look at 13 trillion within 3 years, and how many
you could have built so many refineries.
Exactly. You can even Dangote, who is not even a government, can build a refinery 600,000 barrels in a day. What about government? 445,000 barrels for over 30 years? You mean that this administration came on power with all this belief and confidence that they will make life different, and they could not do it in 4 years? And that after removing subsidy, what we should see next is, after removing subsidy, we should see a big refinery. So, okay, this is replacement so that we can buy petrol cheaper. But this has not been done. So all these small reforms will not work in Nigeria. The best thing we can have is to have refineries working. And that's why Atiku Abubakar said, I will bring private individuals to come and invest. Because government has a lot of responsibilities. Building roads, hospitals, and all education.
That's his plan on the NNPC. It generated so much mixed reactions from amongst Nigerians, because they were saying that he wanted to privatize the NNPC and probably sell the nation's assets to his friends and his cronies.
Well, that's a political claim, and it's not true, because Atiku Abubakar is a rich person. He's a businessman, and he's not after Nigerian wealth. He's well-to-do. His family are doing okay, and if he has money to give his friends, he still have enough to give them, which he has been giving. His passion is, how can he make life easy for Nigerians? And he's not the only person to attempt to do that. It's global phenomenon. This was happening across the world. Even Saudi Arabia, the Aramco oil company, is also being privatized. Brazil Petrobras is also being privatized. And if you look at 2 million barrels we produce in Nigeria, only 10% of that is produced by NNPC. NNPC has a revenue generation capacity of 13 trillion naira. But what is already is 2 trillion. That's far below low performance, inefficiency. And if NNPC now tells you Nigeria will consume 66 million liters in a day, which is not possible, which Kachiku said we consume 66 million. And nobody can checkmate that. You cannot verify that, and that gives room for corruption. Most corruption originates from NNPC. And for how long are we going to put the burden of maintaining NPC on Nigerian government? We maintaining NNPC alone, paying salaries, and is politically driven. How many campaigns we have funded through NNPC, directly or indirectly, and government may not have to spend public resources in maintaining the inefficient NNPC. And we can bring the international oil companies that are working. Without these international private oil companies in Nigeria will not have seen anything for improvement in terms of exploration or production in oil and gas sector. So what he's saying is, let's have private individuals coming in to buy shares. But that does not mean oil and gas resources we have, the natural endowment, will now belong to those private individuals. No. Natural gas and oil in Nigeria still belongs to the federal government. It doesn't mean that the oil wells we have, or I mean the oil itself, will not be handed over to private individuals. The development of that, the production of that, and the management of the sector is what we're going to privatize. For example, and say you give Dangote Kaduna refinery. He's going to make it work because he's a profit-driven person. Yes. Don't make things political.
But don't you think it will take a toll on the final price? To the end user?
No. You know, when private individuals came into Nigeria, they will invest in both exploration, development, and even production. And when we have more people doing that, you are now creating more supply. And if supply increases, the price comes down. And what we are trying to do is, how can we diversify? For how long are we going to rely on oil? There was no oil before. And if we have to diversify to a new sector, then the oil, we have to tax the oil to get money from the oil and then build other pillars of the economy. How many countries are doing far better without oil? Look at Japan and look at Venezuela as a country with the largest oil reserve. They are going backward economically. So for how long are we going to? In fact, Nigeria is proving to be infected by what you call the Dutch disease, the resource cost.
Okay.